Charles Green, better known as Angry Grandpa, was a YouTuber infamous for his explosive temper and frequent destruction of household items. His emotional outbursts and unpredictable behavior were regularly captured on camera by his son, Michael Green, also known online as Kid Behind a Camera. Over the course of 10 years, their consistent uploads helped the channel grow to over 4 million subscribers. But that rise to 4 million subscribers wasn't without fallout. Behind the viral fame was a storm of drama, conflict, and blurred lines between entertainment and reality. This is the entire history of the Angry Grandpa Show. Charles Marvin Green Jr. was born on October 16, 1950 in the US state of Georgia. His father, Charles Green, was a US Army veteran and sergeant during World War II, and his mother, Dorothy Green, was a secretary for Government Employees Exchange. Charles was raised in Charleston, South Carolina, alongside his older sister, Charlene Gordon. While growing up, Charles described his father as abusive, telling several stories of his father frequently beating him up as a form of discipline whenever Charlie misbehaved.
My old man used to beat me bad. I ain't lying. My daddy stripped my ass down naked, threw me in the damn shower, turned the water on, and beat me with a clothes hanger. And he beat me, I guarantee you, boy, there was whelps on top of whelps. Oh my God, he beat me up.
On November 23, 1959, Charles's father was involved in a horrific car accident while drunk driving to his mother's house, and was permanently paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of his life. As a result of this injury, the family struggled financially, and also caused Charlie to be bullied in school for his wealth and appearance.
Hey, fat ass! Hey, you fat piece of shit! Oh, there's Charlie Green the Butterbean, the fattest thing I'd ever seen. I grew up listening to all that.
His father was then put into a veterans home hospital for almost 30 years prior to his death in 1987. When Charles was a young adult, he described himself as a stoner and hippie. At one point in the late 1960s, Charles became estranged from his family. The reason being, during the civil rights movement in Charleston, Charlie let activists in his car and drove them down the street in support. Charles's actions ended up in the newspaper, leading his racist mother to kick him out of the home, disowning him.
Boy, my mama come home from work. You embarrass me. I said, but mama, they're just people. Oh, no, not here in the South, they ain't just people. You know, you couldn't even, back then you couldn't even sit in Walgreens with black people and eat. Racist bunch of bastards here, you know.
Charles then spent the next 2 years of his life traveling around the United States with his hippie group of friends, including attending the Woodstock Festival in 1969, though eventually he reconciled with his mother when he returned home. Charles married for the first time in the early 1970s. He and his first wife, Wanda, had a daughter named Dawn Michelle Veazey. However, in time, the two divorced. In 1982, Charles married his second wife, Tina Maria Sharp, for 30 years and raised 4 children, 2 boys being Charles and Michael, and 2 daughters being Jennifer and Kimberly. Charles was a former volunteer firefighter for North Charleston Fire Department and worked several other jobs during his life, including being the owner of multiple failed small businesses. During his marriage with Tina, he and his family heavily suffered financially, repeatedly moving from one house to another in Columbia. Charles and the family then moved into a trailer home in Trailwood Trailer Park owned by a family member in Charleston. Charles had horrible health problems throughout his life. He became a chronic smoker at the age of 10 after his parents caught him smoking cigarettes and made him smoke an entire pack to deter him from ever smoking again, but that plan ultimately backfired.
They went and bought a whole goddamn carton of cigarettes, and they made me sit at the table and smoke that whole fucking carton, one after the other. I was a green man, puking, all of this shit, you know, I wouldn't be like Tim.
How long were you smoked again after that?
Next day, shit. I wanted them more then.
So they turned you into the addict you are.
In the 1990s, Charles supposedly weighed as much as 800 pounds and was forced to use a wheelchair for mobility. In the late 1990s, Charles underwent gastric bypass surgery. However, during the operation, he died, forcing the doctors to abort the surgery in order to save his life. While the surgery did result in him losing weight and removing his gallbladder, it gave him the side effect of a dumping syndrome, a condition that led him to defecating dozens of times a day. This caused Charles horrible pain as he struggled with the syndrome for years, leading to an addiction of painkillers. Yet one day he managed to find a medication that made him go to the bathroom normally. On October 21st, 2006, Charles was admitted to the hospital again to remove a hernia on his stomach. During the surgery, it was reported that he went into cardiac arrest. Luckily, he was revived but was in a coma for approximately a month following the incident. The family then began discussing funeral arrangements, although by a miracle, Charles woke up after his daughter Kimberly came to the ICU and begged him to wake up. Angry Grandpa's children faced a difficult upbringing, as during the early years of his first two children, he struggled with alcoholism and resorted to physical violence.
I would take my blanket and go and turn up the heat like full blast. And then one day my dad finally got tired of it, and I was laying on the air vent, and all of a sudden all I hear was, what the f, what the f, what the f, stupid f. And then like daddy just like kicks the shit out of me. I'm sorry that I'm cussing, but that's what happens. And then, my dad like kicks the shit out of me and then yanks the blanket off of me and says, "Goddamn Jenny," picks me up and throws me against the wall.
Charles even had a horrible relationship with his wife Tina, continually fighting over financial problems and destroying each other's belongings. Despite that horrible relationship, Charles decided to remain married to her, convinced that keeping the family together would be in his children's best interest.
Mom and Dad, when they were married, they had a horrible relationship. It was just all...
You ain't supposed to be telling that on goddamn film.
You had a horrible... They saw.
You don't want that on film?
How about the videos on film of you breaking into each other's shit and screaming at each other? And that's on film.
Prove it.
As mentioned previously, Angry Grandpa raised 4 children with Tina. His first son, Charlie, Angry Grandpa did not have a good relationship with, stating in previous logs that Charlie had always gone into trouble growing up, even going to prison for stealing a pair of tennis shoes from a police officer's home. Angry Grandpa also didn't have the best relationship with his daughter Jennifer. Jennifer has 4 children, being all boys, named JC, Johnny, Jacob, and Jimmy. Due to Jennifer struggling with getting jobs and financial support, Angry Grandpa took custody of his grandchildren and raised them in the trailer park. Not much is known of the second daughter Kimberly, only that in 2003 she moved to the state of New York and started a family, raising 2 daughters. Although from the videos it seems she had a mostly positive relationship with Angry Grandpa. Then there's Michael, the kid behind the camera. Michael was often regarded as Grandpa's favorite and the child he was most closest to, as he often assisted with Grandpa's failed business ventures and took part in pranks against him. Michael also aspired to be a rapper, adopting the name Lyricold and channeling his experiences growing up in a working class family into his music. Fast forward to 2007, there used to be a video sharing platform called break.com. During Christmas Day, Michael uploaded a video to the website titled Angry Grandpa Ruins Christmas, the premise being Angry Grandpa having a meltdown after his family opened presents without him.
I ain't never come back to this house. You know what? You can all kiss my fat ass, 'cause I don't care. Good riddance.
What the fuck was that?
Michael sold the video to break.com for $1,000, where it racked up over 600,000 views. Encouraged by its unexpected success, he began filming his father even more.
You did what?
Posted it on break.com. It's this real popular website.
So I get what, few hundred people see it?
Actually, there's close to 600,000 people.
What? Are you all fucking crazy? Hey, fuck this shit, man.
You gotta turn that shit.
Fuck!
Man, fuck yeah.
No, shut up, you right? Y'all, man, y'all make me look like an asshole. Y'all make me look like an asshole every time. Y'all make me look like fucking white trash, and I'm tired of it, man.
The Angry Grandpa character was presented as a loud, short-tempered old man who often overreacted to small things. His personality was exaggerated to reflect a stereotypical southern working-class man.
Why am I so mean? Well, look here. I'm bipolar. Now, everybody, my family knows that shit. And I'll tell you one thing. Don't you make fun of me.
Donald Trump.
For president, 2012. Go Donald. What the fuck you looking at? Yeah, go Donald. Go Donald.
I don't get what you're doing.
I seen them goddamn Mexicans. Them Mexicans over there. And I don't know if they got green cards. I don't think they're fucking illegal.
Who do you think you are?
I'm an American. I'm a citizen. And them, they're taking my money.
Michael played the role of the kid behind a camera, regularly capturing Angry Grandpa's explosive outbursts and frequently pulling pranks on his father himself. Michael also had a girlfriend named Bridget, who would constantly annoy Grandpa by stealing his candy, worsening his outbursts. The final character in the videos was Tina, Grandpa's wife, who was in constant shouting matches with Grandpa due to her laziness to clean the house and obsession with Elvis Presley, a singer Angry Grandpa hated passionately. Eventually, Michael moved on from uploading the videos to break.com and transitioned to YouTube, as from December 2007 the site launched the partnership program, meaning creators could finally monetize their content. The Angry Grandpa Show was then officially created June 19th, 2010, yet if we view the first ever video, it is Angry Grandpa ranting about being suspended from YouTube, so we can assume Michael had previously created a channel for Angry Grandpa but was taken down, likely to the videos not meeting the past guidelines. From there, the types of videos uploaded were prank videos, meltdowns, cooking videos. The family's ongoing financial struggles were also well documented, with frequent instances where the cable and electricity were disconnected due to unpaid bills.
What are you doing?
Goddamn, I gotta get some money. I ain't got no goddamn money. I'm counting my goddamn change.
After almost 2 years of uploading onto YouTube, Grandpa got into his first controversy, a controversy involving his own wife. January 2019, Michael uploaded a video titled Angry Grandpa is Single.
Grandpa living on his own again, single. Grandpa happy though. Yeah, a lot of y'all ain't gonna understand what's going on, and it ain't really none of your fucking business. Just realize that Grandpa is happy for the first time in a long time.
The next day, Angry Grandpa explained what had happened between himself and Tina, and why they had officially split up. What was explained was one Saturday night, Grandpa was face-calling strangers online. His wife Tina then walked into the room and accused him of cheating on her with one of the women he was on call to. Grandpa denied the accusations, leading the argument to intensify to the point Tina began destroying her grandchildren's social security cards and birth certificates outside in the streets. Grandpa decided to leave the house and have Bridget drop him off at a motel for the night, though Tina instead chose not to stay and left with a pre-packed suitcase to stay with her daughter Kimberly in New York, as well as keyed Grandpa's car before leaving.
What really ticks me off is Michael Feast right here. I fuck anything with a hole. Peter nuts.
Angry Grandpa and Tina got divorced shortly after the incident, and it wasn't until 2 years later when Grandpa explained in detail on a radio show called Shut the Fuck Up and Listen the events that led up to the two divorcing. On the radio show, Grandpa explained his horrible relationship with Tina in the 30 years they were married, and how all these stories led to them finally separating. After Tina's outburst, which involved keying Grandpa's car, a representative from Child Protective Services became aware of the situation. He informed Grandpa that Tina was no longer permitted to be around the grandchildren who were living with him at the time, which became one of the key reasons for their eventual divorce. When Tina found out, she blamed Grandpa for the situation and began making multiple false CPS reports accusing him of child abuse. Tina's behavior grew increasingly erratic. At one point, she went around Charleston posting numerous flyers that mocked Angry Grandpa. During this period, Michael was covering her rent at a new residence and later explained that Tina lacked any gratitude for her son's actions. On the radio show, Grandpa recalled an incident where, despite CPS warning that Tina wasn't allowed near the children, he let her take them to visit their mother Jennifer. Instead, she drove them to her boyfriend's house, who was reportedly a crackhead drug abuser. After learning what had happened, Grandpa swore he would never let her near the grandchildren again.
2 hours later, Derek called me, Dad, where are my boys? Where are my boys, Dad? You promised me they were going to be here. I said, well, Jenny, your dad, she hasn't showed up yet. I said, call around. She found Tina. Tina was at the goddamn crackhead boyfriend's house with him and had the boys there. Jenny says, all right, she's on her way to get me. She goes to get Jenny. She fires herself with the boy's sister. My boys are with that crackhead mother.
All these events later led the family to completely cutting off Tina from their lives. With the chaos surrounding Tina finally behind him, Grandpa began focusing on rebuilding his life. In June 2019, the Angry Grandpa Show reached a major milestone, surpassing 100,000 subscribers, a promising step toward a brighter future. But not long after, things began to take a darker turn. Angry Grandpa lived in a trailer park called Trailwood, located right next to a Boeing airport. In 2012, within the community, rumors circulated that Boeing had intentions to purchase the park and force residents out of their homes. Sadly, those rumors proved to be true. Boeing planned to redevelop the area into a parking lot. In response, Grandpa began uploading videos to the channel, hoping to rally public support to help save Trailwood from being shut down.
We need your support. We need your phone calls. I don't give a damn what else. I want your phone calls right here. This it, Mike?
Yeah, that's right.
Call these numbers. City Hall, Boeing, Trailwood,
Bill
Whitting, and Mr. Truelove. Need your help, people. I need your phone calls. Please give them a holler. Tell them what you think. Tell them you ain't gonna play that shit.
That month, Charleston City Hall received an overwhelming number of calls from the Angry Grandpa Show fanbase, so much so to the point they eventually had to shut down their phone lines. The wave of support for saving Trailwood grew so intense that it even prompted a visit from the FBI to Grandpa's home.
The FBI is there. He told me the Secret Service was there, which, look, I cannot verify, but he swears to God that they were. Police are there. Government employees are there. Things are getting crazy because Dad pissed off City Hall, and they were not happy about it. They wanted to make sure that we weren't actually a danger to North Charleston.
Despite the giant wave of support Trailwood received, Boeing ultimately won, leading to the eviction of hundreds of families from their homes. After living for decades in Trailwood, the home where the Angry Grandpa show first started, Angry Grandpa was forced to relocate to a trailer in Creekside, Somerville, a spot he chose because Bridget's mother lived nearby. The move came at a financial cost, increasing his monthly rent from $310 initially in Trailwood to nearly $900 at Creekside, placing even more strain on his financial situation.
I'm tired of paying all the goddamn bills! I'm tired of drama!
Although things had taken a darker turn, neither Michael nor Grandpa realized they were stepping into what would become the golden age of the Angry Grandpa show. While living in Creekside, Michael continued to prank his father regularly, with many of the videos racking up tens of millions of views. One of the biggest, the Walking Dead prank, was filmed there and alone amassed over 25 million views. Grandpa's explosive meltdowns, where he'd destroy household items and valuables, quickly became viral hits. The most popular video on the channel, Angry Grandpa Destroys PlayStation 4, racked up at nearly 50 million views. Around this time, a new character joined the chaos of the Angry Grandpa show. Tina. No, not Angry Grandpa's ex-wife, but Tina Dondridge, Grandpa's neighbor. A rather volatile and crazy individual who became a memorable character on the channel.
Stop! No, okay. But I'm tired of that goddamn dog barking all night long!
Well, it's a dog! I can't shut it up!
You better figure it out a goddamn way!
I want to!
You shut that dog up!
Your kids bark just as much as my dog!
If you don't shut that dog up, I will!
Yeah, I want to see you do it, fat man!
Yeah, I want to see you do it, fat woman!
I will!
In January 2014, the Angry Grandpa show hit 300,000 subscribers. After a year of consistently uploading meltdowns and prank videos, the channel celebrated its 1 million subscriber milestone in April 2015. In July of that same year, Michael bought Grandpa his very own home. From their roots in a working class family, both Michael and Grandpa now had houses of their own. It was clear that YouTube had completely transformed their lives, until someone stepped in and tried to tear it all down. In February 2016, a YouTuber known as Dylan for the Win began releasing videos claiming that the Angry Grandpa show was staged. Interestingly, Dylan had previously appeared on the channel in the Condom Challenge video. This raised a pressing question. Who was Dylan really, and what drove him to turn against Angry Grandpa?
One of the most recent videos that the Angry Grandpa show uploaded, it was about a Valentine's Day prank, and it was about OK Cupid messages, and then Mike shows up dressed as a trans trying to like date him type of thing. That is fake. That is scripted. Because Angry Grandpa has a girlfriend that's 30 years old. I have a clip of that. I'm going to blur her face because she is a very, very, very nice person and I don't want to disrespect her in any which sort of way. But he has a girlfriend. Come on, do it again.
Oh, hell no.
In a Drama Alert interview with Keemstar, Michael explained that as the Angry Grandpa show gained traction in 2015, trolls began targeting them, sending false death threats and stirring fear. Given Grandpa's age and limited understanding of the internet, the harassment deeply unsettled him. That's when Dylan, a die-hard fan of the channel, stepped in. He helped manage Grandpa's social media by blocking the trolls, essentially serving as an online bodyguard. Dylan claimed that Grandpa had promised to give his channel shoutouts, promises that, according to Dylan, were never fulfilled. Feeling betrayed, he eventually spiraled and began threatening to expose the show as scripted.
I was a great big fanboy of Angry Grandpa and Mike. Angry Grandpa came across a bunch of trolls and I would try to take care of the trolls for him. I would order pizza to their door, I would order escorts to their door. And in return I was promised shoutout after shoutout after shoutout. And then as soon as I would ask for a shoutout, it wouldn't happen. So maybe in a couple of messages that Michael showed in the past, I was asking for a shoutout, but that's like in return for doing the things that I did for them. Like I wouldn't have put myself in such a situation where I could legally get in trouble for, you know, ordering pizza to somebody's house.
In an attempt to appease him, Michael gave Dylan a shout out during the Prank Day 2015 vlog, hoping it would prevent him from going public, but Dylan wasn't satisfied. He asked to visit them in person, a request Michael initially declined. However, Grandpa, deeply anxious about the situation, persuaded Michael to allow the visit. That visit led to Dylan's appearance in the Condom Challenge video, but even after getting what he supposedly wanted, what drove Dylan to expose the Angry Grandpa show anyway? Dylan became so obsessed with Angry Grandpa that he would constantly call him, convinced they shared a genuine friendship. The relentless contact eventually pushed Grandpa to his breaking point.
Yeah, he would call me from some number in Canada,
and I'd be busy, or I was at the doctor's, or I was tied up with. I got a grandchild that has some health problems.
Okay.
And I'd be at the doctor's with him, or I'd be doing something with him, and he would call, and I can't talk. And then he got to the point he was calling 4, 5, 6 times a day. And I said, I just can't do this. And so next thing I know, I get told that unless I talk to him and give him an apology, then he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I'm going, damn, man, I ain't done nothing but be your friend.
And that's exactly what Dylan did. He released multiple exposed videos claiming the show was fake, backing his claims with clips and DM screenshots. But what he didn't anticipate was the backlash. Instead of tearing the community apart, his videos only solidified the Angry Grandpa's fanbase loyalty. After Keemstar aired his drama interview with Michael and Grandpa, Grandpa revealed that the situation caused him so much stress he ended up in the hospital.
Now, Mike told me that, it got so bad that you were getting chest pains and actually had to go to the hospital?
Yeah, really. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cry, but I just get so tired of this.
Unsurprisingly, this pissed off the Angry Grandpa fanbase, and Dylan faced an overwhelming wave of backlash, so intense that he was eventually swatted.
Seriously though, put yourself in my shoes just for a second. And if you went on the internet and got millions of views, literally millions, over 350,000 comments calling you a piece of shit, had the SWAT team come to your house, wouldn't you want to get some kind of revenge?
After Dylan's original channel was taken down, he resurfaced on a new one, continuing to release content about the Angry Grandpa show. His videos escalated with shocking claims accusing Grandpa's eldest son Charlie of inappropriately messaging minors and alleging that their neighbor Tina was involved in drug dealing.
Mike's brother, Charles Green's son, Angry Grandpa's son. He was talking to 13, 14, and 15-year-old little girls that were fans of the Angry Grandpa show, asking for nude pictures, and Angry Grandpa himself sent me after his own son in order to stop him from doing that because they couldn't. Another thing that they wanted me to do was get Tina Danforth, that fat chick that's in their videos, and they yell back and forth at each other. Well, she's a pill dealer and a pot dealer, and I had to get her away from Angry Grandpa.
Michael was then forced to respond to Dylan's new allegations in a vlog, claiming they were all entirely false. He admitted to one being truthful, being that Grandpa did get Dylan to troll specific individuals.
I'm not going to say that all of it was lies. Dad did have him troll people for him. That's what his purpose was. Ex-girlfriends, Dad had him trolled because they were bothering us after they left because they wanted money and stuff like that. So Dad trolled him. Dad had people trolled through this guy.
Eventually, Dylan stepped away, leaving Michael and Angry Grandpa alone, and disappeared from the internet entirely. The channel continued to thrive over the following year, with Grandpa even collaborating with YouTubers like McJuggernuggets. But the drama didn't end there. In 2017, new tensions surfaced, this time within the family itself, as Grandpa found himself at odds with his eldest son, Charlie Green. Charlie occasionally appeared in the background of older Angry Grandpa videos, but his most prominent feature came in a vlog Michael uploaded called My Brother in 2013.
Here we are. I'm at my brother's house. His. I like it in here. I was gonna show the posters and stuff. So we're at my brother's house. This is my brother Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
This is Bridget, and that's his. I'm just showing around the apartment. This is who owns the dog now.
When Grandpa moved into his new home in 2015, Charlie joined him that October. During his stay, tensions quickly escalated. Charlie never found work and spent most of his time playing PlayStation. His behavior grew increasingly volatile, often erupting into intense gaming rages. In a deleted video posted to the Angry Grandpa show, Grandpa staged an intervention after Charlie began sending death threats to other online players during his outbursts.
That's why I wanted this intervention.
I'm telling you the intervention.
He's scared, man. He starts talking about a damn game like he gonna cut throats and kick you. Listen.
Yeah, see? You think it's all normal.
Jesus.
Yo, for real? You got him scared?
What?
You got him scared?
Who?
You got Grandpa scared? In his own house? How you doing play this stupid thing?
How the hell do I got Dad scared in this house?
Well, I'm not over here for the hell of it!
Charlie next made a YouTube channel named Charlie Chill, where he'd upload vlogs about his life, though uploads on the new channel would temporarily stop as Charlie was arrested in August 2016 due to failing to pay child support. Charlie was released from jail in November and moved back in with Grandpa, but was kicked out of the house in June 2017 after his behavior worsened. As mentioned previously, Angry Grandpa had custody of his daughter's children, and whilst Charlie lived in the same house, he badly mistreated them.
One day I came home and Jacob been crying. What's wrong, Jacob? Nothing. Jacob, something's wrong. You've been crying. crying. What's the problem? I can't tell you, Papa. Why? Because Uncle Charlie said he'd hit me again. I said, whoa, 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 back up. What do you mean hit you again?
Come here, buddy. What did Charlie do?
He gave me something to smoke.
What was it?
I don't know.
But something to smoke. And how old are you?
9, 10, I mean.
Give him something to smoke.
Did he give you anything else?
Yes.
What?
Beer.
How you know it's beer?
Because he told me that.
Charlie denied the accusation that he gave his nephew beer and marijuana, but Grandpa still made him leave the house, unable to find any reason why his grandson would make such a claim without cause. This information was initially kept private, so both Michael and Grandpa received backlash from the fanbase for kicking Charlie out. Due to the backlash, Michael offered Charlie to live in the pool house at his property, a decision he would come to deeply regret in the future. On June 29th, Korn was uploaded onto the Charlie Chill channel. People instantly assumed that his channel was hacked and began tweeting at Michael, who exposed that it was actually Charlie who was uploading the Korn. Michael then uploaded a video to the channel explaining the full details of what had happened that day.
Today, we get to the house, and he's running around the yard naked. And I go to see if he's okay, and he gets in my face and starts screaming, and I took off into the house. My sister called 911, and they came out, and they went to check on him, and he admitted to them that he was doing LSD. And apparently, it looked like he was trying to burn his finger off or something, or burn the pool house down, or I really don't know what he was doing, but it was bad.
Yeah, this is real. Right here, this is real. This is real stuff. This ain't your fake little YouTube stuff. It's my life and you fucked up. My life and my brother fucked up.
Once Charlie returned to the pool house, he was still intoxicated from the LSD and assaulted Bridget. This led Michael to call the police and had him arrested and removed from the property.
I'm getting the Get out, that Get the out, then, you stupid stink! Oh, so bad! Oh no, I'm fat! Oh,
You're just like Bella, you fat.
And you're homeless!
That's why you look.
You're stupid and homeless!
That's why.
You're stupid alcoholic!
The family drama continued to worsen as Grandpa's daughter Kimberly came out with a statement exposing a horrific secret about her brother.
You guys want to know why I'm not close with Charlie Chill? Because I have a vivid memory of him holding me down while his friends tried to me. Too bad it didn't fit. How old was I, Charlie? It was the year Black Hole Sun came out. I remember hearing it play on the radio. That would make me 9. Your friend's name was Mike Llewellyn. Is that how you spell it? I have only spoke to my therapist about this because when I was a kid, I thought I did something wrong. As an adult, I was ashamed of letting you get away with it and pretending like it didn't happen. You apologized to me once for this, but I'll never forgive you. You're a manipulative, bipolar, sick individual who needs help. Trust me, my therapist knows about you.
Once Kimberly came out with her story, Grandpa completely alienated his son from the family. Keemstar later got involved by interviewing Charlie, pressing him on whether he had actually assaulted Bridget and referencing the disturbing allegations connected to his sisters.
What's strange is though, you uploaded a video to your YouTube channel and you said that you didn't hit Bridget, but Bridget has like a big mark on her face. So did you hit Bridget or not?
No, sir, I didn't.
But Michael uploaded a video interviewing the children over there, and the 10-year-old said that you gave him weed and alcohol, and they're claiming that's why you were kicked out of the house.
No, sir. See, that happened probably 5 months ago while my sister Kim was still down here. And what happened with that was I went out and I was depressed, and it seems like every time I'm upset, I go out and get drunk, and
But did you give him alcohol and weed?
No, sir, I did not.
Yesterday, your sister claimed that you held her down while your friends tried to rape her when she was a kid.
Right. No, sir, that is not true neither.
Michael initially attempted to press charges against his brother for assaulting Bridget, but ultimately dropped them in August 2017. Charlie later reappeared on his channel, revealing he had joined Alcoholics Anonymous, quit drinking, and had finally admitted to and apologized for the assault.
I want to show you guys right here. This is my white chip that I got. I can't say who I got it from because Alcoholics Anonymous, but I've got to come clean with it. I've got to be a man and promptly admit my wrongs. And Bridget, I'm so sorry for laying my hands on you. No woman ever deserves that.
Charlie then returned to the pool house to collect the remainder of his belongings and briefly reunited with his brother. However, his behavior continued to worsen, even after being cut off from the Green family. This is Isaac Guest, a close friend of Kid Behind a Camera. He first met Michael in 2004 through an online wrestling game. Initially, Isaac and Charlie got along, but their relationship soured after Isaac learned about Charlie's actions toward the family and called him out in private DMs. The tension escalated into a public argument on Facebook, during which Charlie repeatedly threatened Isaac with physical harm and even made disturbing threats against Isaac's family.
I ain't scared of this motherfucker is what I'm saying, bruh.
You sat there and you had your fun, boy. Charlie's here, okay? Your kid's your asshole, little. Yeah, Isaac, I'm gonna beat your ass. You ain't gonna bring your ass down. I'll your wife and kids.
Charlie was also in a relationship with a girl named Nikki, who later made a YouTube video discussing their falling out. It was also revealed that Nikki was apparently married and cheated on her partner with Charlie. Following the breakup, Charlie became homeless and began vlogging his experiences of living in a tent. A friend then reached out and invited him to stay in Melbourne, Florida, a gesture Charlie accepted. However, his stay was short-lived as he was soon asked to leave. Charlie's YouTube channel was then terminated in October 2017 as corn was uploaded onto the channel again. During this time, Angry Grandpa was sent to hospital due to complications with his health. Charlie decided to return to South Carolina to attempt to visit him. Whilst there, he instead was visited by Isaac. Isaac took Charlie's threats seriously and made a deliberate effort to confront him in person over his actions by driving 10 hours to South Carolina. However, when faced with Isaac, Charlie responded by contacting the police rather than engaging directly. Over the following years, Charlie frequently went on drunken tirades against his family, making repeated threats online specifically to Michael and Bridget. He stayed with various friends but was often asked to leave. While there's much more that could be said about Charlie's later actions, I've chosen not to include it in this video as it largely repeats the same patterns already covered. As of 2025, Charlie continues to make vlog content on a new channel called Charlie Travels, alongside a woman named Erica. It appears he's moved away from the pattern of making repeated threats toward his family. In fact, just a few months ago, he reconnected with his sister Jennifer and her children. It seems things are gradually improving. Circling back to Angry Grandpa, remember how I mentioned he began experiencing chest pains during the drama with Dylan for the Win? Sadly, his health continued to decline throughout 2017. In February, it was revealed that he had developed skin cancer. Before he could undergo surgery, he was also diagnosed with pneumonia. In March, surgeons successfully removed the tumor from his back, and miraculously, Grandpa overcame both illnesses. Given his fragile condition, it was one of many health scares he had endured, having previously survived gastric bypass surgery and a hernia removal. Unfortunately, later that year, after collapsing during Michael's 4th of July party, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, likely linked to his past struggles with alcoholism. Despite being so ill, Grandpa still continued to make content for his fanbase. The last video on the Angry Grandpa show was the Halloween spaghetti prank, uploaded in October 2017. The last time Grandpa was seen in a video was on Michael's channel, The Best Thanksgiving Ever, uploaded November 24th, where he was seen in a wheelchair and using a nasal cannula.
I'm glad you're working on feeling better. I appreciate, having another Thanksgiving with you. Pound it. It's been
love you youngins here.
Yeah, man, we love you youngins too. And we wouldn't be here without you. Grandpa wouldn't be here without you. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We're gonna continue it. Dad's getting out of here. You wanna cover this lens?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have to cover it then.
Grandpa wasn't seen after that on either channel. Michael would post regular updates about Grandpa's health, but they weren't sounding so positive. That is when on the 10th of December 2017, Angry Grandpa sadly passed away.
Today, we lost Angry Grandpa. And maybe I shouldn't be filming this right now, because it just happened, but I respect him too much to hide how I feel from the internet.
YouTube completely transformed the lives of Michael and Charles. After a decade of consistent content creation, they went from living paycheck to paycheck in a trailer park to Michael being able to give his father a house and his dream car. Despite the family drama that unfolded in the final years, the last decade of Charles's life was nothing short of remarkable. So with the Angry Grandpa gone, what now for the channel? 1 week after Angry Grandpa's passing, Michael released a video addressing the future of the channel. He revealed that dozens of unreleased videos filmed years prior had never made it online. Following his cancer diagnosis, Grandpa had also begun recording and saving content specifically to be shared after his death. Since then, these videos have defined the ongoing legacy of the Angry Grandpa show. As the new year of 2018 progressed, many began to notice the absence of Tina, Grandpa's crazy neighbor. In fact, her appearances on the Angry Grandpa show vanished without explanation, prompting fans to ask Michael what happened to Tina. He addressed the situation in January 2018, revealing that in 2017, Tina became heavily fixated on commentary channels, particularly those posting exposed content about her and Angry Grandpa. Despite Michael's attempts to reassure her that these videos were unimportant, she struggled to let it go.
And the next day, Joe Schmo 47 said this about me, and I would say, Tina, the video's got 12 views. So what? Who's watching it?
but she always took it to heart and she always cared.
Michael suggested that Tina troll the commentary channels by feeding them false information to report on. Tina followed through with the plan, but at some point, things shifted. In a leaked podcast recording, she was heard talking shit about both Michael and Grandpa behind their backs.
I wrote this that clown video. I wrote it. He calls people filthy names. Little kids will be saying, AGP, I don't know how I would have got through this. You're like a grandfather to me. He said, go fuck yourself and throw it in the garbage.
Hearing the leaked podcast, Michael was deeply upset and decided to cut ties completely with Tina. In response, Tina launched her own channel, the one and only neighbor Tina D, where she began posting exposed videos about Angry Grandpa, claiming the family never cared for her and that she was never compensated for her appearances. As the videos piled up, Michael took legal action, filing a defamation lawsuit. The outcome was a restraining order against Tina, which she agreed to and signed. However, despite the order intending to prevent digital harassment, she continued posting content targeting Michael and Grandpa. Michael then brought the matter back to court, but this time the judge dismissed the case. Later in October 2017, as Grandpa's health declined, Michael chose to make peace and invited Tina to visit. She accepted, and for a brief time things remained civil, but following Grandpa's passing, Tina ceased all communication with Michael. In a 2018 vlog, Michael revisited Grandpa's old trailer in Creekside. While filming, he unexpectedly ran into Tina. Although Michael assumed things were cool between them, Tina felt different.
So what are you all doing here, though? You didn't lose nothing here, Bo. You got that big mansion in the sky over there, Delta Dawn? You got the other one over there? What do I got? I'm still right here, right? Right? Put the camera down, princess! Yo! Yo! For real? I can't do this!
In February, Michael and Tina finally made peace after agreeing to meet at Grandpa's home, where they finally settled their beef. Sadly, the storm of drama involving Michael's family and friends didn't stop there, but continued to unfold. So what kind of content has Michael been pushing on the Kid Behind a Camera channel for the past several years? Ever since Grandpa passed away, Michael's channel saw a noticeable decline in viewership. In an effort to revive his dying channel, he turned to the lowest common denominator: clickbait. Michael began uploading videos with deliberately misleading titles and thumbnails. For years, Michael repeatedly clickbaited viewers with false claims of him and Bridget breaking up, despite their relationship remaining intact. Another go-to tactic was pretending to quit YouTube or suggesting that he and Bridget were broke financially, whereas judging by the amount of views he gets on his channels, this is highly unlikely. These fabricated narratives became recurring themes in his content. Over time, this relentless use of misleading thumbnails and titles led his fanbase to slowly turn on Michael. On top of that, creators in the commentary community started calling him out, criticizing what they saw as desperate and manipulative attempts to regain relevance.
Let's examine the first half of the title, the statement that they're selling their house. Then let's watch the video to see if this is actually the case.
We're not selling our house. No, this is not the time to do it because we're gonna get over if we do it right now. You're not selling our house because this happens every year.
Okay, so you've actually blatantly said in the video, no, you're not selling your house, and you've also made it very clear in the video that you have no intention of selling your house. The title proclaiming that you're selling your house was actually just a real estate agent dropping their card off saying that they offer real estate agent services. Alright, so that's proven the first half of the title to be clickbait. You're clearly not selling your house.
Michael was questioned in an interview conducted by Boogie on why he had resorted to clickbaiting his videos, where he basically claimed that his vlogs were not interesting enough, which is why he resorted to such manipulative tactics.
The video you and I made said I cheated on Bridget, which is technically true because you and I kissed.
It's
but
true.
We're not having sex. Bridget's not mad.
Well, still, kissing somebody is cheating, is it not?
I get that, but my question is why do you do that? What's the point?
Well, most basic answer I can give right now, just to that one point, is what else am I going to call the video? I kissed Boogie 2988. You know what I mean?
I mean, sure.
That's not as interesting though.
Yet one of the most disgusting and widely condemned instances of Michael's clickbaiting came when he appeared to exploit Angry Grandpa's death for views, a particular move that sparked outrage across his fanbase. Notably, a commentary channel named Jalen released a video in 2020 criticizing Kid Behind a Camera for this very tactic. In the video, she described how she called out Michael on Twitter about clickbaiting his father's death for views, and how his response quickly spiraled into an unhinged rant.
And then I say, hey, be sure to come up with a new title next time. And Bridget replies, nah, that's prime clickbait. See, I'm showing her the thumbnails that Michael is using to clickbait his dead father, and that is her response. And then I say, so, you have no shame. And she replies, LMFAO, I guess not. And then Michael appears out of nowhere and says, I just got another sign from Dad. He said your grandma's in hell. That Wow, that's a great response right there, Michael. Wow.
By late 2018, Michael found himself facing even greater challenges as a new wave of exposed videos began to surface. But this time, the focus wasn't on his familiar use of clickbait. Instead, creators began digging into his older content, uncovering disturbing moments from his past that had previously flown under the radar, casting a much darker shadow over his early work. During the early Break.com days, several disturbing videos surfaced featuring Michael's interactions with his nephews, some of which raised serious concerns. In one particular disturbing clip, Michael is seen pushing his nephew and rubbing his foot on the child's head for no reason at all. Michael had even launched a separate YouTube channel called The Life of Mikey Show, where he pretended to be the fictional serial killer Michael Myers. In those videos, he was shown terrorizing his nephews and, in another instance, forcing them to play violent video games.
And the question is, when will Michael realize that this has gone too far? This kid is freaking out and you're still wearing the Michael Myers mask. You're like, oh, see my tattoos, it's me, Bubba. Take off the goddamn mask and stop freaking these children out. In this clip, he forces these kids to play violent video games. I don't know, maybe they wanted to, and so he makes them play violent video games, and then he locks them in the room after they start not being comfortable with what has just happened in the game. And that clip is just so uncomfortable because you can legitimately feel the imprisonment that kid cannot get out of that room, even though he desperately wants to, and Michael tells him, you can get out, you can leave, even though he can't open the door.
Beyond his troubling behavior towards his nephews, Michael also showed a disturbing disregard for his family. In one Resurfaced video, he was seen spitting and even urinating into a pot of chili before filming his family unknowingly eating it.
3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that, I remember with the Super Bowl, they showed the Hulk for the first time that day. Now feed that baby. Why? Who's that black guy? Jerry Rice.
Not happy about the defense the last time you played the Giants, even though you won, obviously. What's the priority here?
To make matters worse, one video even showed Angry Grandpa behaving in a volatile manner toward his grandchildren, specifically a Christmas clip where he aggressively tossed toys around and called his nephew gay.
What the hell? That's cute. Y'all got a bigger What? A quick. He's a boy. He's gonna play with stoves. You cook? But I goddamn, so how else we gonna eat? You gay? Huh? You walk around like this? Man, goddamn. I'm tired of shit. All y'all ever do is buy them gay shit. You know, y'all need to stop this. He ain't. Why'd you buy him that? He ain't. He ain't. Goddamn. I keep putting that pressure back. Tired of this, man. Look at clean your goddamn house. Look how nasty it is.
YouTubers Primink and Q-Star made videos talking about these disturbing clips, sparking even more outrage against Kid Behind a Camera. Boogie2988 eventually stepped into the controversy, coming up with the idea to interview Michael directly, confronting him about the resurfaced clips and the backlash surrounding them. Boogie's interview with Michael ended up being deeply underwhelming. When it came time to address the abuse allegations, he brought up only a single clip being Grandpa Ruins Christmas, and failed to press for meaningful answers, ultimately accepting every excuse without challenge.
What about, like, there's one video where he's one of the kids is playing with like an oven and he called the kid gay. Like, was that is that how he acted in real life, or is this he's hamming up for the video?
Those were the early YouTube days where we were hamming it up heavily. Right. We had just started getting our first money ever, so we went on this crazy like trip of video, just non-stop, constantly. And in one of those videos, and I think he did make the comment, "It could be gay." Now, Dad was in support of gays.
Before Boogie interviewed Michael, he was asked during a live stream about his thoughts on the abuse videos. He responded by saying that Michael had assured him that they were all clearly staged. It's difficult to accept that explanation at face value, particularly when the footage of Michael terrorizing his young nephews as Michael Myers visibly shows them crying in fear. Unless those children were remarkably talented preschool actors, which is highly unlikely. Over time, the controversy gradually faded, with Michael ultimately facing no accountability for his past behavior. As As I mentioned earlier, the drama within the Angry Grandpa family continued. The next chapter unfolded with Doug West, Bridget West's father. Doug appeared multiple times on the Angry Grandpa show. His first appearance dates back to 2012 during a Father's Day prank targeting Angry Grandpa. So what caused drama between Doug and the rest of the Angry Grandpa family? After Angry Grandpa's passing, Doug launched a YouTube channel of his own, Dougie2 West. With views falling short of expectations, he began searching for a way to generate income. His solution? Turning against the Angry Grandpa show by creating content that criticized the very legacy he'd once been a part of. Before Doug went on to bash Angry Grandpa on his live streams, he had a falling out with Bridget in 2019. The apparent reason being Bridget was not supporting Doug financially after he quit his job.
When I lost my job due to my health problems, they told me to put in for my disability. They said that they would carry me until my disability came in. 100%. They didn't do it, what they said. Everything that Michael promised, he has not done.
But why? Why did he stop doing that?
I don't know.
After Doug's falling out with Bridget, he spent the next year bashing his daughter, Michael, and Angry Grandpa.
Michael's got an ass whipping coming. Just from when he opened his mouth up and run it.
I'm doing exactly what Grandpa taught me to do. Does Cindy brainwash Bridget? I'd say it's more Michael brainwashing, because if you look at my daughter's pictures before or at the beginning of when they first started dating and look at her now, something happened.
On April 5th, 2020, Michael released a now deleted 1-hour documentary targeting Doug. In it, he highlighted a series of claims and falsehoods Doug had allegedly spread about both him and Grandpa. Among the most serious accusations was Doug's claim that Grandpa had abused his grandchildren. Michael also revealed that when Bridget became pregnant, Doug showed no care whatsoever and even dismissed the pregnancy as fake. The documentary painted a clear picture of Doug's morally questionable attempts to profit from his YouTube channel by stirring controversy and spreading misinformation. The documentary was split up to 3 parts, with the final part having Michael and Bridget confront Doug in person. Doug publicly dismissed the documentary's claims as false, yet never provided any evidence to support his denials. Not long after, he relocated to Kentucky to live with his niece, but was reportedly asked to leave soon after. Over the next few years, Doug moved frequently between apartments in Kentucky and South Carolina, using much of that time to repeatedly bash Michael and Bridget as a way to generate income.
Because it looks like to me that you've been lying a lot, an awful lot.
I haven't been lying. I got no reason to lie. What do I gain from lying?
Views?
No.
Money?
No.
Popularity?
No.
Clicks?
No.
Of course you do, Doug.
His final live stream, broadcast from a hospital bed, aired on December 17th, 2023. The following month, in January 2024, Bridget announced that Doug had passed away from a heart attack, a sad close to a turbulent chapter in his life. One aspect I haven't touched on yet in this video is the relationship between Michael and Bridget. If we rewind to 2016, during the time Dylan for the Win was posting several exposed videos, he raised concerns about the age gap between the two when they initially met.
Another thing I find hilarious is Mike's story on how he got together with Bridget. If you're not aware, Bridget was a minor. She was totally underage when they got together. Did you know that?
You might find this surprising, but Dylan's claim was entirely accurate. Michael and Bridget first met on November 17th, 2008. At that time, Michael was 21 and Bridget was 15. In an older video on his channel, Michael described how they met and mentioned engaging in sexual activities.
She's easy, second date.
No!
Second date.
Alright, yeah.
Second date, week later.
I wanted to.
After this detail began to circulate more widely, Michael responded with a video addressing the accusation. In it, he claimed that Bridget had lied about her age, saying she told him she was 19. But Michael also interestingly lied about her actual age when they met in his response video, stating she was 16 when she was really 15.
Now, the truth is, Bridget was 16 years old when we got together. But she told me she was 19. And I believed her because she was already driving and doing her own things and had her own money. I assumed what she was saying was true. And the bad part is, I didn't find out until her 17th birthday. Now, this is the fucked up part that I was going to tell on a story.
This is actually pretty embarrassing.
It's really embarrassing. I think Bridget even forgot she had lied about her age. So her mom comes out with a birthday cake and everybody's happy birthday to you. Everybody's singing, I'm singing, and I look, and there's a big 17 on the cake. And I'm thinking, wait, that can't be true. She's turning 20. No, Bridget turned 17.
The situation stayed largely under the radar for several years until it resurfaced in 2025. Lolcow Live, a YouTube channel featuring Boogie2988, Keemstar, and former host Wings of Redemption, has a second show called Lolcow Queens, which included Michael, Tina, and another creator named Becky Boop. During one episode, Becky revisited the age gap between Michael and Bridget at the time they met, sparking backlash from the fanbase and widespread criticism of Michael. In a later show, Keemstar publicly debated whether to remove Michael from Lolcow Queens. As tensions escalated, Michael joined a live voice call to address the issue, in which he altered his previous version of events, changing his claim from believing Bridget was 19 to now 18.
But how did you spend 2 years of your life not realizing she's going to school, that she can't drive, that she has to have her parents to take her?
Hold on, wait. I've already said I knew she was going to school when we started dating.
Right, but you were under the impression, how old did you think she was when you first went out?
18.
18-year-old, did you think she was going to college?
No, she told me she was in high school. I knew that.
But you said 2 years passed, so she should be 20 when she was actually 17.
A lot
right?
of people fail and stay in classes for the
Well, yes, Bridget was going to night classes.
Well, the issue I have with that is the fact that you can't be that dumb to be like, look at a 15-year-old and not know she's lying to you. It's different if she was actually 17, because like the difference between a 17 and an 18-year-old looks-wise is very little. The difference between a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old is a huge gap.
You're acting like I thought she was 28 years old, okay?
Right.
She said she was 18, she was 15. I'm sorry, there wasn't that much of a difference. She looked the same when she was 18.
Bridget also came out to defend Michael on Twitter, confirming the story to be true and that she was not a victim of anything predatory.
We have a really great life together, and I am no victim. Like, in any way, shape, or form am I a victim. I lied about my age 17 years ago, and he had no idea.
The Angry Grandpa story was never just about the breakdowns or the broken furniture. It was about a family navigating the spotlight, for better or worse. What started as scripted entertainment evolved into something far more complicated, marked by loyalty, betrayal, and loss. Over time, the cracks widened, relationships fractured, reputations shifted, and while the channel's legacy still sparks debate, one thing is certain: the impact it had on viewers, on the family, and on internet culture cannot be ignored. Hey guys, it's Kluster, and if you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. This video took a long time to make. Shout out everyone in the description who was involved in helping me make this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more long documentary type content like this, please subscribe, and as always, join the Clown Empire.